Welcome back to the Aftermatch with Kirsten Beeve. Come for the rugby, stay for the Aftermatch. We've done it. 10,000. Thank you so much to every single one of you that has stayed with us for the entire season and have liked, subscribed, shared it with all of your friends. We know you got us there as a community and we're happy and grateful. Not just 10,000 Beef. We've hit 11. 11,000. We grew over 1,000 in a week. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, and come along for a ride. Some jumped on, and that's welcome too. We have no issues of jumping on our wagon.
Oh yeah, of course. Like not just from the start, but you'll take people that
absolutely all
that join. Do you know what I think it was? I think it was the French language that we had last week.
Yes.
We actually had quite a few people. And I'll read some of these messages. This one's from Stefan. From a guy of the country of champions of hot chocolate. Remember, Beef, your reference to Belgium?
Yes.
I can safely say that yes, in French, we is spelt we, and it's pronounced W-E-E. We.
Yes.
We.
In hindsight, I actually...
As in, we are the champions.
Yes.
That was the reference they gave.
Yeah, because in hindsight, I actually remembered way is actually in reference to Savawe. Way. And
what does Savawe mean?
I mean, good. How are you? Good.
Yes. So then we must have had a couple of Frenchies. Hey, thank you, Frenchies that are on here. Purple Puma, Oliver, and many others said, and this is spelled different. Look, I don't even know how to say this. We is spelled O-U-I, informal. Formal, sorry, yes. And then there's O-U-A-I-S, which must be your way, and it's informal. It's like a yeah. It's the difference between yes and yeah.
Yeah, well, again, Tauru Cabalo taught me the French, so I'd say it would be definitely informal and slang, if you will. The irony is I actually did something with an entire French film crew the day after.
You weren't saying way.
I was, and then and with the giggles from them, I worked out, no, it's not that. I've got that all wrong. So, look, I knew coming into this that I'd probably got my French mixed up.
Yeah.
But great to hear from the French people. Wonderful people dealt with the other day too.
While we're on the subject of languages, because obviously we've got a fair few people from different parts.
Yes.
A lot of Kiwis, but also some South Africans. What's your Afrikaans like? Any words for us?
Well, a lot of my Afrikaan friends call me a great boitjie.
Is that what it is? Is it butchie?
Yeah,
or is it butz?
No, boitjie.
What's butchie?
Like good fella.
Yeah. Isn't Butz brother? My brother?
Well, they do. Well, I am, a couple of their brothers too, from different mothers. But the main one that you've always got to have up your sleeve is lekker.
Yeah.
Barbecue lekker.
Yeah.
Having a good day lekker.
A lot of lekkers.
Yeah.
A lot of lekkers on our podcast.
Yes.
They love this podcast. Fastly becoming a favourite on the internet. So look.
Good oaks. They're good oaks, the South Africans too. You got to be able to use that too.
We'll leave the language lessons here, but just wanted to say we're so grateful for every single one of you. So thank you so much. Let's get into it. Look, we're going to rip the Band-Aid off because it was another loss for the All Blacks, which every time we sit here, it's always uncomfortable. You always feel a little bit squeamish and not so nice because we love this team. We want them to win.
Yep.
But we also know what they'll be going through, well, you in particular, and how they'll be feeling right now. So let's start with some positives from Twickenham.
Yes.
The haka.
Yeah.
The V formation was back.
Yeah, and the singing from the crowd at Twickenham
drowned out the haka.
Drowned it out, and that just adds to the occasion, adds to, I guess, the intensity of the rivalry. So it was magic, and then obviously the boys sensed that, and you could see when they all broke off and just started doing their own things, you could sense it just adds to the occasion, doesn't it? Adds to the anticipation of kickoff and adds to the theatre. And at the end of the day, I know there's some rule makers in this world of rugby that don't want it to be theatre and don't realise we're in the entertainment business, but we are. And as far as the haka and the response from England and the crowd's response and then the All Blacks response, it was brilliant. And I was a bit sleepish at 4ish when I sort of woke up and wondered what I was doing awake. But no, I was awake once the haka had been completed.
When you talk about entertainment, talk to me about the lipping.
Yeah.
The lips licking from Henry Pollock. We have talked about this guy so much on the program. And to be fair, when I look around the game right now, the Rico, Johnny Sexton feud, I mean, that was great. But right now, there's no one doing what Henry Pollock is for the game. Loved it before he played and beat the All Blacks. During the game, I thought, this guy is so annoying.
Yes.
I surely wasn't the only one.
No.
Just the pumping, constantly pumping up, the back whacking, the chest pumping.
But you got to back the man's, I guess, self-confidence.
It's a lot of confidence.
Because he's backing it at the moment.
But also his on-field play was awesome for the 20-minute cameo that he did have.
It was a great cameo. I look forward. Speaking of South Africans, one of the great oaks, Dwayne Vermeulen, I saw him getting interviewed about some of the shenanigans a couple of weeks ago, and it's fair to say I think Dwayne looked like he wanted to still play the game when he was talking about it. But no, it's again, it's part of the package now. It's part of entertainment. It's this generation. I don't know what they call young people in this generation. I think
are they Gen Zers
or
are they millennials?
Been. Yeah, I don't know. But look, it's theatre.
What are you?
Don't know.
You're a Gen X or something.
Don't know.
Baby boomer.
You were a baby boomer.
You're definitely a baby boomer.
After the war. No, look, it is wonderful.
He bought all these houses for $20,000.
And he backed it up and called himself a property developer.
We're going so off topic.
Off topic.
So off topic. But did you like what Henry Pollock was bringing? Not just, the entertainment side of things, but actually on field. What about that try that he set up at the end? Was that a fluke or what?
Oh, look, you could say it's a fluke, but some players it just happens for. Like Bodie Barrett, for example.
Yes.
You think if you went through all of his tries and the bounce of the ball and all that, he's in the spot to get the bounce of the ball, and I think Pollock might be one of those characters. Yes, there's those highlights reel, but if you actually watch him, and he's tough to not notice because of the hair
bleached
and
blonde hair.
the hair. Oh, is it bleached? Is it?
That's not natural, babe.
And what have you? Oh well, he's a fair Englishman. I just thought maybe. He was such a nuisance at the breakdown. Yeah. Didn't always get penalties, but what he was doing, he was slowing the ball down, and I think everyone's seen his performances in European Cup for Northampton, where if he gets the ball in open space, you're not going to peel him back. So he's a massive threat, and he's got a huge future. And I saw him shaking hands with Hardy and having a couple of words there, and you just sort of not quite the passing of the baton just yet as far as one of the world's loose forward superstars, but obviously it's the next generation who will take the mantle.
What did you think of the English, if we hone in on a few players in a few moments? Obviously big moments in the first half were the back-to-back George Ford droppies.
Yeah, like George Ford is obviously it crept up on me how many tests he's played. And when you think about, geez, he has been around a long time. He started pretty young, and was very much just when he first came into the scene, very much just a goal kicker. A goal kicker, kicked the ball out. Did a traditional English first five, but he's developed his ball playing, and some of his ball playing in the weekend was very, very good. But I think more than anything, and I think, I've got English friends who were a bit surprised that he was given the 10 jersey for the spring tour over Marcus Smith, Finn Smith, because of their sheer brilliance. His game management curse. Like, it would have been easy, and in hindsight, would have those other two that I just previously mentioned had the composure after the All Blacks had smacked 12 in your face, and then still stuck with whatever plan that you and Steve Borthwick could come up with during the week. And why we're on that, the more I think about it, I would put one of your houses on it, but
there is only one.
the thought that they would have had, I think, would let's take this to the 60th minute.
Yeah.
And then that probably then gives you the rationale
the POM
why
squad.
They were, the POM squad, but why they were down 12-5 and started, George Ford was in the pocket accumulating drop goals.
They had to stay in it.
It's just a completely different mentality to what we're used to here. So, an All Black might think of drop goals either when they're up by 1 to take it out to 3 or
but
to win a game.
But even then, when would we do that?
Exactly.
We just don't. It's just not top of mind for All Blacks, and it never has been, has it?
And the great drop kickers, when George Ford has done this at World Cups, as far as he kicked about 10 against Argentina in the last one in the pool play. But when they drop the ball and strike the ball, they literally look like they're goal kicking. It is so compact and so under control. The only other person I can think of is Morné Steyn.
Yeah.
And when Morné Steyn, unfortunately, I had to witness it on the field against him, when he was dropping the ball to do a drop kick, he was so controlled and in such ease of his game. It literally looked like a little man had popped up from the ground, put a tee on the ball, to put a tee on the grass for him, and he just came through in ordinary style. It was a very, very skillful aspect of George Ford's game, but he was complete control. And I don't know who they gave man of the match to in the end, but he would have had to have been top of the list.
What was your droppy like compared to Staines?
Pretty damn ugly, but
effective though.
Oh, look, I think I got maybe 2 or 3 in my entire professional career.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, never thought. Like, to be fair, whenever we went and played the Bulls or a semi-final, that Fozzie would say, "You better start practicing your droppies." I was like, "Oh, okay, here we go." Whenever we were up at the high vout, you felt like a better drop kicker because they travelled further. But look, if you've got Morne Stain at one end of the drop kicking ability world, you've probably got somebody underneath that under that cabinet that might be my name.
So, top 3 drop kickers in world rugby ever? Stain at the top? Stain,
I think you have to go Wilkinson.
1? Is he 1 or?
Yeah, I think he would have to be one by it's tough to go past Morne.
Okay, so Morne at 1.
Morne at 1, maybe Johnny at 2. And then I think you're probably looking at, am I missing anyone? I think probably maybe a George Ford. I can't think of anyone else that just is that prolific.
They'll let us know.
Yeah.
Top 3 drop goal kickers in world rugby ever of all time.
Of course, there's one who I haven't put in the top 3, but he did one that broke a nation's heart. And Joel Stransky, of course, the great South African who destroyed many a Kiwi heart in 95. So maybe through
he pushes his way in there.
He maybe pushes his way simply because he did it in the biggest stage like Johnny did. Johnny Wilkinson did his off his wrong foot, if I remember rightly.
Is that right? That's impressive.
Yep.
Back to England though.
Yes.
So George Ford, he led them to victory, right? He led them to victory, but he had some good stable mates around him.
Oh yeah.
When you think about this English team, that winger in the first half, eye-catching. I know he was when he was here in New Zealand as well. And he didn't get too much ball, but man, he's eye-catching.
Yeah, well,
doctor?
They created space for him, a lot of space for him on the edges, and the boys, the scramble got him in the end, but you feel that, you wouldn't want to give him too much more. I thought Earl was great in the loose forward. Oh, we talked about last week that the English loose forward makeup physically is just a bit different to what probably Kiwis are used to. They're chunks of meat. They're a bit more like a South African, but without the massive height that the South Africans are possessing at the moment. And they take a lot. It takes a lot to get rid of them at the breakdown. And they just carry. There's no complications to their carry. They see you, and we call it T-boning, and it's not the perfect scenario, but they're just going to back their physical mass to try and create momentum. I thought they were great. Lawrence at centre, tough to ignore.
But he's been good for the last few years, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has been. Talking to a few people from that side of the world pre-game, they were like, yeah, he's going to carry and he's going to carry. There wasn't going to be too many frills to his game, and it's whether or not that was going to be exploited or what have you. But he was outstanding. Really, really powerful in the midfield, and so much of the big moments, you got to say, the big moments were in and around his work.
So then if we look at the All Blacks, where did England get the better of the All Blacks? Because when you're up 12-0 in the first, 15 or so minutes, I mean, only down 1 at halftime, or up 1 at halftime, massive blowout in the end though.
Yeah, well, I think what England did well is they brought the All Blacks to them. And I'm not saying bring them to their level, I'm just saying bringing the All Blacks to their game. The All Blacks' first 20, 25 minutes, I was quite smugly sitting on the couch thinking, oh, yeah, here we go. What a place to make a statement. Twickenham, full house. Everyone's down the All Blacks, but no, here we're going to go and put a good score on them because we're just playing too fast, too skillful. But then a few things happened. Game started to slow down a bit, and that's not to say that England weren't attacking. When England attacked, they looked great, but they did it on their terms, did it at their pace, did it when they wanted to. Didn't allow the All Blacks, or didn't seem to allow the All Blacks to break the game up, which I thought they were doing very well in the first 20, 25 minutes. A lot of the play was coming off Quinta Paya. They had clearly, in their set-piece analysis, identified that their back three was suspect positionally, both as far as covering kicks and off first phase attack. So the All Blacks' first phase attack I thought was great. They exploited the fact that England were coming up nice and square, but weren't coming up at a pace that was going to shut the play down. So a couple of times you think about what led to the tries, the wingers and centres were no man's land. And then the fullbacks, But fullback was even more a no man's land because he wasn't connected to his winger. And 20 or 30 out from your line, Kirsch, you've got to be connected to your winger so you can shut down players where they weren't shutting the All Blacks down. And that was great analysis. They had a plan, and clearly it was working for them. You think about the Roygaard 50-20, easily manipulating by just sending a guy on the open side, brings, I think it was Stewart at the time, across, opens up the space for a 50-20. But it appears that through, a few things, England, again, getting the game to be played how they wanted to be played, dictating terms, slowed the game right down. I thought our defensive line out was great. Lord was picking them off and the like. So all these little things were working for them. The 4-man line out was working for them, and then they went away from that, which surprised me a little bit, especially in the middle of the park where it just seemed easy for them to win possession again in that first 20, 25 minutes, Curse. But as the game wore on, went away from what was working, I think, and paid the ultimate price.
So there's a few things that has been constantly talked about a couple of times this season when results haven't gone the way of the All Blacks, or when they have won as well. One of them is our attack.
Yep.
Structure, too much structure, not enough structure. What are we doing? Do we have a plan on attack? What are you saying?
Yeah, and for those that, like me, get sick of the word structure, I'll give you a brief explanation of what structure.
Please.
Structure is essentially what the forwards are running around in. Like forwards aren't just running like maybe 30 years ago, see a ruck, clean a ruck. They're running around to get in their threes. Traditionally, there's going to be 3 of them together, and they're there for 1 carry, 2 cleaners. And the structure, different for every situation, every team, but by and large, most teams will have 2 sets of 3 running around and a couple of floating guys. And their roles can depending on what sort of coaching that they're getting. But what I think the structure word that a lot of people are talking about is they're just going to those pods and having guys out the back and sort of just hoping for the best at times. And it almost at times looks like we're playing to fall into structure. Well, structure for me, Kirst, is something to fall back into. If it's going a bit awry, you go back into. If you're making dents down the edges with a Will Jordan, you don't go looking for your 3. You're playing on top of them. You're getting Roygaard to pop out, Bodie to hit flat, and you just keep playing until the ball slows down a bit. Then you bring in your forward carriers and your plays off them. But I think there has been at times a keenness to get to structure when I don't think we've needed it. And the other thing that I found in that game, once that brilliant first 30 had started to disappear, is we went back into this habit of setting one up one side, setting one up the short side, going back to the middle, and if it didn't work, now we'll kick. Well, I think playing like that is falling into teams like England's hands. It slows the game down. It allows them to have a crack at your ruck. You're not testing them aerobically or defensively.
Who's making these decisions on the field? Is it the first 5? Is it the captain? Are the messages coming down from the coaches? Who's making these decisions?
Well, obviously they've all got, they train all week. And so when you're training all week, the coaches govern training. Well, we'll have a huge input into training. Once you're on the field, it's obviously the players, but it's what
so when the momentum started to swing after those forward droppies, game tightens up a little bit, and we changed the way that we're playing.
Well, we went to half time, didn't we? And so there's a chance for everyone to get around the table and talk about, right, what does the next 20 minutes look like? What does the next 10 minutes look like? What are we going to go back to? Is it a chance to say, hey, boys, the first 30 minutes was outstanding. Let's get back into getting the ball into Quintapai's hands, getting the ball out to Will Jordan on the edges. Their wingers and fullbacks are a bit disjointed. Let's go after them again, and then we play at pace and tempo. Unfortunately,
they didn't expect the yellow card to come. The Cam Roygaard incident as well. It all came directly after halftime.
Yeah. And the yellow card, some teams can cope with yellow cards better than other teams. Like the All Blacks, for example, New Zealand teams in general find it hard because the attack is all bells and whistles. Everyone has got a role. Everyone is, Cody Taylor, for example, critical part of the phase play attack because he's A good carrier, and B, he's got hands.
Yeah.
He's not just a look for a ruck, clean a ruck.
What about his feet on the weekend?
Great feet as well. You couple that with, one of our best players, if not our best, Cam Roygaard. Certainly probably someone who navigates the field. Bodie wasn't quite right, so therefore greater responsibility on Cam Roygaard as far as leading the team around the park. And when he goes off, Cortez hardly played a game this year. It was almost the perfect storm in that second half, down to 14 men, England starting to get a roll on, lose your best player. It starts to add up, and you talk about momentum, they couldn't get it back.
So, issues with this team. Have you got any?
With our All Black team?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm just a fan at the end of the day.
We all are, aren't we?
We all are.
We just want them to do well.
100%.
They're good people.
Great people who, want to be All Blacks. And that's the reason. Like, I love them all because every one of them could be overseas earning double the money.
Yeah.
But they're here.
Yeah.
Scott Barrett, for example, is about to have a sabbatical, but not go anywhere. He's having a sabbatical to get his body right to play for the All Blacks. What more do you want from an All Black?
Yeah.
That sort of stuff needs to be acknowledged that, hey, guys, they do care.
But you think in these moments, the 7 moments and 7 matches in the last 2 years, that we have learnt a lot for the next 2 years to come?
Yeah, well, the greatest lessons are the most brutal. And, there's going to be the negative Nancy's out there saying, Beef, how many more lessons do they need to learn?
Yeah.
But, at some stage, like I don't know how I'm not in the changing room. I'm not in the review on Monday.
I thought you were, Beef.
No.
I thought that's where you were getting all your insights from this year.
No. Like, do they go hard at each other, or do they not, or what have you, or like, and that's what Razor will go away down in Sumner this summer. Sumner and Summer. This is where he lives in that.
Yeah, he does.
So he'll be like, right, is that messaging getting through, or do I need to be harder, or do I need to be softer, or what's working? Like, because
what is it usually like? Is it?
Well, it depends.
Is it ruthless?
Oh, look from
coach dependent.
Coach dependent. Speaking from my experiences, where I still remember probably 5 or 6 reviews.
Okay, so they were
and
brutal.
none of them were after a fluffy win, but they were the best lessons I've ever learned.
I was gonna say
they were the best lessons I've ever learned.
And the fact that you haven't forgotten them.
No. I mean, I will never forget when Gatty...
You never forget getting told off, though,
Gatty telling me I was selfish for doing a chip and chase under penalty advantage, Gatty. Like, I had the penalty advantage, Gatty.
You got the ball back.
We came back to a penalty, Gatty, and I did a chip and chase, and I was selfish, and lit me up in a review.
What did he want you to do?
Not chip and chase for myself, apparently. But, I've never forgotten it.
Yeah.
Did I ever chip and chase under advantage again? Possibly, but
not under Gats.
Not under Gats,
maybe under Reds.
Yeah, maybe. But there's those reviews, and as I say, apparently I should have kicked the ball out one time. I've kicked the ball out every time since. Sometimes on the full, but I've always kicked it out since. But again, taking the mickey a bit. But the toughest lessons are the best ones for your game.
Okay, so what do they do? Actually. Who's our All Black of the weekend then? Because there were still good performances even amongst a loss. There were some players that were standing up, weren't they?
Yeah.
So who is our Black Magic All Black of the weekend?
Yeah, it was a tough one as far as I thought Cam Roygaard was going great guns.
Yeah.
Got injured, but Quinta Paya is going to be my Black Magic tackle All Black of the weekend.
Busy.
He was busy. He'll be the first to admit that try in the second half, when he was defending with Leroy, Quinn, from my eyes, got it wrong. And I don't know what their systems are, but he probably peeled in. But for me, his work elsewhere, he was as good as anyone, if not the best All Blacks, certainly in that first 30 minutes when they were humming along nicely. His distribution game is something I don't think any of us saw coming. Yes, big, strong boy, built, very impressive foundations. His body is,
yes.
But he has got that skill now with that long ball, short ball. So he's our All Black of the weekend, and Black Magic tackle segment. And of course, just while we're on Black Magic tackle, it is the season. It's a beautiful day out there. Some should say I should be fishing.
You should be fishing.
Not talking rubbish.
But you've got far more important things
far
to
more
do
important
here.
things. But maybe Wednesday.
Your duty.
My duty. And maybe on Wednesday I'll get some Black Magic tackle on the line and get some more snapper for you, Kirst.
Oh, thank you. You wouldn't say no. Bowie loved his snapper. Just on Quinn though, has he just over the second half of the international year become a must in the starting team?
Yeah, I can't see him not being in the All Black team moving forward now.
23 or 15?
Yeah, well, obviously you still got Geordie.
Yes.
And Geordie's going to be a starting 15 member.
Absolutely.
And then you got Leicester, who's also a starting 15 member.
Yes.
So
who again had glimpses.
The puzzle.
Yeah.
It's the puzzle for the All Black coaches, and again, it's not going to be solved this week.
No.
It's a summer job.
Yeah, it's back in Sumner.
Yeah.
Summer and Sumner.
Sumner and Sumner.
Summer and Sumner. Okay, so this weekend
Yes.
against Wales, it's their final hit out.
Yep.
we're not disrespecting Wales and saying that the All Blacks will win this match.
What are you about to say? No, we're not. No, we're not.
Look,
No,
I'm sorry, Wales.
Yes, and I must congratulate Wales on getting their win in the weekend.
Well done.
Yeah,
That'll give them something.
it'll give them something.
But it won't be this weekend.
Shout out to my Japanese brothers, Paul Lichi. No win there, bud.
How many? Because there's going to be a lot of new faces.
Yeah,
They've had a long season.
Yep.
A lot of guys have played massive minutes. And there's also been other players that have sat there and watched
Yes.
for a long time. Think about a Ruben Love,
Yep.
a Finlay Christie. Like, these guys have played a couple of games of NPC.
Yes.
That's basically it since Super Rugby finished.
Bauer.
They've had little cameos here and there for the All Blacks, but barely.
Absolutely.
They played in 6 months.
Yeah, so
They're allowed. They get a game.
100%. And it feels, again, no disrespect to the Welsh, it feels like certainly in the olden days, certainly we did it a couple of times. You finish with the bar bars, where it's a bit of an experimental, bit of an enjoyment factor.
Yeah,
this is what this one feels like for me. So,
how many new faces? How many new names for you?
I don't go stupid.
Yeah,
because having been in somebody, having been in someone who's been thrown in at the end of a tour when it's been a complete new shuffle, it's tough to get anything sort of really going. So I would keep Cody Taylor out there. I'd keep Scott Barrett out there. Obviously, Fabian will play if he's fit. I'll put probably Artie on the bench just because, he's done so much already. And if the unthinkable sort of potentially could happen, you've got the artillery of the world's best rugby player sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
But, guys like Dupsy Karifi.
Yeah.
Wallace Satiti starts. Peter Lakai goes again. Tamaiti and Tossi, for me, probably start. I'd probably go Finlay at 9 and then bring Cortez off the bench.
Yeah, so
Cam,
give Cam
whatever Cam's situation with his ankle is, he's
having a rest.
He's having a rest. Damien's obviously at 10 because Bodie's quad wasn't there.
He's in Cambridge for summer.
Yes, I'm going back to that midfield. This isn't an experiment. This isn't giving guys chances. I just think they deserve. And I think the coaches will want this to be our look at over summer, the Leicester and Quinn option.
I like it. I think everyone likes that combination.
Yeah, so why not?
From what they've seen.
Why not roll them again? And then the back three, I think you mentioned his name. I think it's time. You got to throw Ruben out there. And then just whatever wings you want to throw out there, to be fair. Leroy, favourite of the show, without a shadow of doubt. I'd give him a rest.
Bring him back to the Mount for summer.
He's had a big shift.
Huge year since
February. You got to think about from a body point of view. He used to play 8 tournaments a year.
Yes,
of
7 minutes. 7-minute halves.
Without a whole lot of contact.
Yeah.
He has now played an entire Super Rugby campaign, which in itself would have been a bit of a shock to the system. Follow that on, and he's played probably 8 or 9 huge test matches. So Leroy gets a break. Enjoy Cardiff.
So who are your 2 wingers?
Who are my 2 wingers? Who did I go with last night on the breakdown? I can't even remember. I think obviously Rico's around. I think
you went for Will Jordan.
Sevu. Oh yes, I put Will Jordan there again as a bit of an experienced safety blanket. But I mean, if you put Rico out there, you still get the experience. You put Clark out there. So yeah, it's whatever.
So for the guys like Leroy that you're saying enjoy Cardiff, what do they enjoy?
Well, you stay at the Hilton, and to your right, you've got, I think, is Danger or Tiger, one of those franchise nightclubs down to your right. They're all over the world. About a 4 or 5 story outfit.
Yeah.
I haven't been there actually since organising the great Francois Lowe's stag do from Bath up there for a Saturday afternoon. We had a karaoke booth in there, and I don't believe we saw the distance. I don't want to incriminate any people because a few of those people might send in some videos of me from that day. But
the distance meaning?
I don't think we may have been allowed to stay our entire booking time.
Your 2-hour slot?
Yeah, I'm not sure we were allowed to fulfill it. Not sure what happened there. I'll blame the stag. But then, of course, also in the middle of Cardiff is the walkabout. And for any Aussie or Kiwi, it's a rite of passage when you're on your OE, and it's a big 2-story joint. And fair to say, when the boys finished looking at the schedule for the year and saw a trip to Cardiff was the last destination, Kirst. Look, I don't think it would have been. It wouldn't have been too upsetting to many. I mean, you could finish anywhere in the UK; it'd be a great finish. But Cardiff is a little bit special. They shut the entire city down, and for New Zealanders, it's probably the size of like a Dunedin very small city centre, but it's all shut down, and they take the bus there with the police horse and cart. So the people who have been boozing all day have a horse and cart leading the buses through, and they clear the path. And obviously, Welsh come from everywhere. Wales isn't a big country, but I think they all descend on Cardiff on test day, and it's just some atmosphere. Like, people ask you, oh, where would you go for a test match? It's tough to not say Cardiff, just simply because it is all there. You don't have to move. And then post game, again, I think the city's still on lockdown, and you just got to get out there and enjoy the festivities.
Tiger.
Yeah, I'm probably more. To be fair, I'm probably more of a walkabout man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
wouldn't have picked it.
That is handy though. It's only about 100 metres from the Hilton Hotel there, where the boys always stay. So that is a handy little stop off.